Hello and welcome to the Duke's Entertainment and ASMR channel. Today we are going back in time, back to the 50s, 60s and 70s, back to times where you could smoke inside hospitals, restaurants and things that today seem very weird. Now, I am a collector of weird and fantastic movies, often European exploitation movies from the early 70s and 80s. I collect directors like Lucio Fulci, Dario Argento, Umberto Lenzi, Giuda Amato, but also Jess Franco. But in my endeavors or my adventures into filmland, I've come across another genre that is very warm to my heart, and that is Swedish cult movies or Swedish exploitation movies. And a year ago or so, a little bit less I think, I came into contact with a online shop, and the name is Klubb Super 8. I will leave a description in the box down below if you want to check them out. They have many lost movies. Unfortunately, not all of them have subtitles. But anyway, I want to give them all my warmest regards because they do an excellent job. So I'm going to show you some of the titles that I have bought from Klubb Super 8, Klubb Super 8, including one of their books that I got for a birthday present. The book is called Do You Believe in Swedish Sin? And it's a huge book. And it's Swedish exploitation film posters from 1951 to 1984. And this book is just filled to the brim with extraordinary artwork for movies long forgotten. And I really can't press enough how much I love this book. It's an excellent coffee book, you know, to have on your coffee table. Then people can just flip through it while you talk. It's one of those extremely nice books. So yeah, I'm not going to keep this video going for an eternity. I'm just going to show you some of the movies, or I'm going to show you all of the movies I have. There are a lot of movies that they have on their web shop, but I'm not a millionaire, but I wish I was. But this book is essential for collectors of weird and strange cinema. So, with that said, I might do a review series when I review every one of these titles, but for now I'm just going to give you a quick kind of like what I think about them. So let's start. We're gonna start with one that I actually haven't seen yet. It's Joseph W. Sarno's Operation Wolf Cub. With Harry Reams, which people mostly know from porno movies in the 70s. But it also have Göran Lövgren and Gunnar Arnblad. I'm going to watch this, so I can't say anything about that one. Okay. Next up we have Eva, den utstötta. Diary of a Half Virgin. In English, and it's about a 14-year-old girl who like sexually, more or less, how can I say it without, you know, it's a pretty moral black movie because she's supposed to be 14, but of course the actress who plays the role, Solveig Andersson, isn't 14 years old when she made this, but she's like this free sexual spirit, more or less, who gets involved in a rape case. And the acting in this one was really good, I thought. Next one is I, a Woman, with Essie Persson, and it's based on Siv Holm's book, shock book. It says a scandalized shock book. Well, I found it pretty tame. It's from 1965, so don't expect any too much, you know. It's about this woman who grows up in a very religious family. It says on the back that she is deeply religious, but I never got that from her. I thought she was pretty loose, wild. I think she's the only one in the family that isn't a religious zealot, you know, and she kind of gets involved with a lot of men, but as soon as they want to start a relationship, she has to move on. It's like a compulsion she has. It's a good movie. I recommend it. Then we have, this one I haven't seen either. It's Blondin på skojarjakt, which is translated into, I don't even know if it has a, okay, it has an AKA title. The Wild Chase on the Corpse Car. Oh my god, I'm doing this in the middle of the night. It's a Swedish comedy, a Swedish-Danish comedy, I think. Anyway, and here we have a weird one. Here comes the Berserkers. It's a Swedish Viking movie. It's a comedy, but yeah, it's a comedy. I don't really know what to say about this one. It's weird, and it's really weird. And one of the actresses in this one is, let me see if I can find her name here. It should be here. Loredana Muciak, which has played in a lot of Spanish, I think, exploitation movies. I actually think she was in, might have been in one of the Tomb of the Blind Dead movies. I don't really know, but it's fun and it's hilarious and it's a Swedish Viking movie. Then we have the Keyhole. Keyhole, yeah. My God, okay, she's holding her hands above her, you know, so I won't be lynch mobbed by YouTube. And this is a pretty interesting movie about a couple who is making a soft porno film, and they decide to take inspiration from the girlfriend's parents and spy on them. It's kind of like a comedy, but it also has hardcore sex scenes, which surprised me a little bit. I didn't really know it was supposed to have that, so I was like, oh wow, well that was unexpected, I guess. And the girl who is the main character, her name is Marie Ekorre, and if you translate that, it's simply Marie Squirrel. Now I thought that was a taken or an AKA name, you know, but her real name is actually Marie Ekorre, Marie Squirrel. Pretty weird. Next one up is Love 1 2000. Have not seen this one. I've seen a little bit of it. It's kind of like a sex comedy. It was very strange, if I recall it correctly, in the beginning. It felt very odd, but I'm going to watch it. It's from 1967, directed by Lennart Olsson. Don't know really much about this one. I haven't seen it more than like 10 minutes, and I had to go to the store or something. Alright, let's keep on going. And we have this one, which I saw a couple of days ago. It's called Naked as the Sea. Or I think it has another, Naked as the Naked Wind from the Sea, One Swedish Summer. And it's a pretty nonsense movie about a young man who is kind of reminiscence over his sexual adventures. He's a violinist, and it's a soft movie, you know. You kind of feel like you're, I don't know, it's a weird movie. So I'm not gonna grade these movies in this review. This one I actually loved. It's The Witch with Marina Vladi. And it's a Swedish-French drama about a French engineer who comes to Sweden and falls in love with a young woman who lives in the forest with her grandmother. And religious beliefs and things like that come into play when, you know, when we learn that villagers don't accept or don't understand this woman and brand her a witch. And it's a pretty tragic love story. And it was directed by André Michel. So I think it's basically more French than Swedish, but they speak both Swedish and French. And it has subtitles, so this one was really good. I actually love this one. Next one up we have, oh, this is a classic. Rymdinvasion i Lappland. Terror under the Midnight Sun, I think the name is. And it's about a meteor crashing in Lapland, releasing a huge like snow beast. You can see it on the back here. Oh, focus. Anyway, it has a lot of charm, and they also speak English. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty cool movie. It's fun. Alright, then we have Torgny Wickmans Skräcken har 1000 ögon. And oh my god, Fears has 1000 eyes. And it's about a evil witch coming to a family to tear them asunder. It's a pretty psychedelic movie. It's a study in horror, sex and magic. And I don't know, I'm going to keep my fingers over this picture here, but it has kind of like rituals, a lot of titties. I would have a really hard time putting a grade on this. It's one of those you have to see it. But yeah. Alright. Now we're getting down to my 3 favorite ones. Except for The Witch. 4 favorite ones. And the first one is Anita. Ur en tonårsdagbok med Kristina Lindberg och Stellan Skarsgård. Kristina Lindberg was a Swedish pin-up girl who made a lot of exploitation movies in the 70s. She's mostly known for Bo Widerberg's Thriller, A Cruel Movie, which is one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite movies. This also has Stellan Skarsgård in it. You remember him as Bootstrap Bill in Pirates of the Caribbean, and also the scientist guy in Marvel's Avengers. But this is among his first roles, and it's about an nymphomaniac, more or less, who meets this professor, I guess he is, and she ends up in a collective where they kind of like play trumpets all day, and yeah, and I love this movie. It's very well acted. You can see that Stellan Skarsgård have a lot of talent, because this is a low budget, you know, exploitation movie, but both him and Kristina Lindberg is pretty damn good, and it's entertaining. Yeah. Next one up is Made in Sweden, which is also with Kristina Lindberg. In this one she plays the schoolgirl Inga, who travels to Sweden to spend the weekend with her sister, and she acts bad. Meets a lot of guys, have sex and do all kind of bad things. And this one was also like entertaining all the way through. So yeah, Made in Sweden, and it's directed by Dan Wolfman. Weird. Yeah, I like this one. And now the one that really lit me on fire. If you ever heard about giallo movies, it's the kind of Italian ones from the 70s, often with a killer who has black gloves and you don't know who he is, and he's always having a hat and a raincoat maybe or something like that, and he's wielding a knife or a razor, and a detective has to figure out who he is, blah blah. And this is the Swedish counterpart, or the Swedish version of this. This one is simply called The Murderer, a completely normal person. And it's about a gang of people on a train, and there's a killer, and the woman gets killed by a black-clad killer with black leather gloves. You can see a little bit of it here, yeah. And it's an exciting, nerve-wracking, really good horror thriller, psycho-inspired. It's a lot of things, and I was so pleasantly surprised by this movie. I mean, it stands the test of time. It's black and white, but it's beautifully shot, and it's exciting. You really have to like think about who the killer is, and I couldn't figure it out. And when it comes in the end, I'm not gonna spoil it, it's a real twister, I tell you. I would give this 5 out of 5. And it has a cast of mostly famous Swedes. And for you non-Swedish viewers, this will sound like gibberish. But if you're Swedish, you will probably know each and every one of these. Allan Edwall, Lars Ekborg, Britta Pettersson, Carl-Arne Holmsten, Erik Häll, Kristina Karlvind, Elsa Pravets, Nils Hallberg, Björn Gustafsson, Heinz Hopp, Eva Strömberg. Now, Eva Strömberg was in Lucio Fulci's One on Top of the Other, I think, and I also remember seeing her name in a lot of giallo movies from the 70s, Italian ones. I think she's been in one of Umberto Lenzi's giallos. I don't really remember which one, but she's in this one, and she's speaking Swedish because, of course, she's a Swede. So, Klubb Super 8. A small company in Sweden. Really nice people who work there, and I'm going to, as I said, leave the link in the description if you want to check them out. It's really worth it. They have a lot of movies, and this is my collection so far. Wow, this video turned out to be longer than I thought it would be. I just made this on a whim. I knew that I wanted to make a video about this company because they mean much to Swedish film collectors. But I didn't know it would be so long. But anyway, thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday on my birthday. I'm 50 years old. My God, I'm almost as old as this book. I mean the movies in this book. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want me to review these movies one at a time, please say so in the comments. Until then, have a nice night wherever you are in the world, And remember, embrace your inner darkness. I am the Duke and I wish you a good night.